Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Equity Guys pre-market video. My name is Chirag, and I am certified technical analyst. And let's get into the view for today. So, looking at what happened yesterday we see that there was a good sort of inside candlestick pattern that we kind of predicted that would form, but it is good because we closed towards the day high, and we did close on a positive note yesterday. So looking at the data for today, Nifty futures and Bank Nifty futures both trading at a premium. Nifty futures at 99 points premium, and Bank Nifty futures at premium of 206 points. So definitely bullish from both indexes there. Looking at India VIX is down 1.68% today, which is extremely bullish because now we're sitting at the levels of 10.36 levels, which is extremely bullish in nature. VIX also being bullish in nature there, so that should be extremely good for today's intraday perspective. Looking at crude oil, again down 1.65% today. So crude oil, and it's from its intraday perspective and its overall levels perspective, it is looking definitely bullish in nature because we are also trading below that 6,500 pre-COVID levels. Moving on to gift nifty, we are seeing a huge gap of 80 points. So now it's a matter of fact saying that will this 80 points sustain or not. So, looking into gold and silver bees, gold bees down 0.28%, silver bees is up just slightly of 0.11% there. So, we can see possible shifts from gold and silver bees back into the market. Leaving those hedge positions is one thing that we could expect today. But let's get into the other parts of the data. We do see sectoral indices here. The sectoral indices, we only have auto, which is doing quite poorly, but apart from that, your banking sector and your IT sector, which is also doing a little poor here, and your infrastructure industrial sector is doing pretty neutral here. So overall the sectors are looking positive in nature. It's just IT and auto need to just have a little bit of a pickup, and then we can start seeing the market become a little bit more trendy as all the other sectors are doing extremely well. Looking at the advanced decline ratio is quite neutral here. 1539 advances, 1515 declines, extremely neutral sentiment from the market here, which is why we saw that inside candlestick pattern formation happen yesterday in the daily time frame. FIIs are back to selling in the cash market, which is not good, but the DIIs are, buying and matching them, which is extremely good here. In the FNO segment, we do see that there is a little bit of buying in the index futures here, and then in stock futures, again, they have sold their positions here, so they're selling both in the cash market and FNO market in the especially stock futures, which is not at all good here. Looking at um, how the FIs have been selling for a very long period of time. Only once the FIs consistently come back into the market are we going to see that volatility, and are we going to see that move on the upside be a lot stronger than it has to. Looking at advanced decline ratio, quite neutral. 23 advances, 27 declines for Nifty 50. For Bank Nifty, it's only 7 advances and 5 declines. So again, pretty neutral sentiment coming from the advanced decline ratio. Moving over to the option chain is looking bullish in nature. So your puts here on the right side is actually seeing selling both in and out of the money, but your calls on the left side is seeing buying in the money but selling out of the money. So definitely a little bit more difficult to move on the upside, but then we are definitely heading towards the upside slowly but surely, even in the option chain. Now, keeping that in mind, 2500 is a key level. We closed above that 2500 level, so we're looking extremely positive on that aspect of things there. So if we were to ever look at the data, because of the gap up now, from the gap up we could possibly come down to 2500, take support there and move up. That is at one important level in case we need to mark it, is at 2500 support. So looking at the global indices, we see the extremely positive data from the US. Dow Jones, S&P, and Nasdaq all up. Dow Jones up 1.36%, S&P up 0.85%, and Nasdaq up 0.72% there. In the European side of things, DAX up zero point 0.3, FTSE 0.78, and CAC up zero point 0.8. So looking at Europe and the US, extremely positive data. Let's see if that can be reflected onto the Indian and the Asian markets. And in fact, the Asian markets is also seeing that. You see Kospi being up 1.5%, and you see Nikkei being up 0.6% here. So I think India will again see that positive nature being taken place in the stock market here. But looking at the Nikkei charts, we do see Nikkei also sees a gap up, but then slowly it has come down in nature. But then it started to consolidate after a certain point here, but still on the positive side. We could possibly expect this, seeing a gap up of almost 80 points, possibly coming back down to R2 and consolidating around those levels is a definite possibility over here. So keeping this in mind, guys, it's also we see that Nikkei is trading closer to that 52-week high that Nikkei made, and we are also getting close to our highs. So closing above R1 and sustaining that R1 today will be very important. So looking at Indian ADRs, we do see ADRs are also extremely positive. Only Wipro seeing 0.71% of selling here. Everything else seeing good amount of money. Book My Trip seeing almost 5% of buying. ICICI almost 1.4%. So extremely positive data on that aspect of things. Looking at the future segment is looking quite neutral actually from the US. US 30 looking very neutral here, just now turned 0.01% negative. US 500 0.04% negative, and US Tech 100 0.03% negative. Nothing to be really worried about. All these just neutral data, looking at all the US 30, US 500, and US Tech 100 here in that aspect. So coming over to the view, guys, the view again today is going to be a little tricky because our PCR is at 1.15. So once the market opens, it is how quick the market goes to the oversold levels, in which you can see a little bit of retracement and then a move back up. Now because we are at that 80 points gap up, we are going to be opening somewhere close to this R2 levels here, right? So now how we saw Nikkei come down and take a little bit of support here at R1, that consolidation, that will be very important to see, because we might want to close above R1 for the end of the day so that we can see a better rally for the rest of the week. Will it be a little bit of a sluggish day? Yes, it will be a little bit of a sluggish day, but then there are chances where if the PCR does not immediately jump to those oversold levels, right? You can definitely see a move upside depending on how we open up today. But keeping that in mind, guys, do not trade the view. Please trade your setup. Please, don't trade your emotions. Only trade the setup. Trade one index, trade one time frame, and make sure you guys are, trading it, as per your setup. No emotions at all, right? So hope you guys enjoyed the view. If you enjoyed it, please, stay tuned for tomorrow. We will see you guys tomorrow then.